Um, it can't do so in a clear way unless a lot of the stuff that you transcended gets flushed out of the system. Right? So when you transcend it, you're just beyond it. But to function here, being beyond it isn't good enough.
What he meant here was that transcendence is that really, to me, what he's trying to refer is that really non-self experience. So it happens and then it's everything gone. But he's saying that really, oh, there is something inside still. Theme, what we have been discussing. So as you may recall, that really, I just want to record for this part that whoever actually listening now, I think they can go back to our previous recording and then follow through all that because we have been discussing uh, the actually meaning of what is dukkha in the sense what is actually a dis-ease that we all suffer and which is the very first discovery of Buddha and then or the Siddhartha and then with that, actually, he realized there are four different facts there because one is that really, of course, we are really attached to this kind of impermanent existence. And then he realized that is because of we are really clinging into it. So that is the second truth that really he realized. And then the third truth was that really he realized, oh, this can be just let go and then you can be free and then at ease all the time. So that is the third noble truth. And then the fourth noble truth is that there is a path for that as well after you really recognize it. There is a little different way of on the progressive path in there in with a two different aspect as well. We were talking about two different aspect of that path when he declared that and which is the eightfold path. So two different aspects is one is of course the person who's not really realized this or that particular experience, non-self experience has not yet come through from that person. He's following this eightfold path at a different conventional way. But once the person who really realized that non-self experience, that person will follow this eightfold path in a different way because it's like he's embracing it and he's actually letting go of that very rooted longing and then it's happening to him and just enjoy I mean just uh, recognizing that's happening to you. That's the fourth noble truth. So we are just giving that fourth noble truth in a different aspect because it has been divided into three facets. I have listed out that eight steps or eight uh, section of this eightfold path, and it has been grouped to three different grouping. One is of course wisdom group, other one is virtue group, and then the third one is mindfulness group, which is the Samadhi. And we have already discussed about the wisdom group and the virtue group, and then how it's effect for the person who's not really had that non-self experience. The name given for that person is stream enterer. And the person who has already got the non-self experience is a stream winner. So it is like, somebody is just crossing the stream so if somebody entered into the stream, so he's just going through it with little bit of disturbances and all that, but he's following that conventional way. But once you actually cross the stream, that means he's a stream winner. So he has already crossed it for fraction of a second, kind of a thing. So when it comes to this uh, mindfulness or the samadhi or the third facet of Eightfold Path, there are three different aspects. One is, of course, your effort, non-dual effort. So there should be an effort a little, some kind of effort. That's for the person that stream uh, enterer has to have a little bit more effort in the sense that he would understand that really what we need to do. Like, you should have that kind of a discipline, kind of that virtue all the time. And you have to keep that your wisdom all the time. When I say wisdom, the stream enterer's wisdom is that really the turning point. I gave some examples like if somebody had a kind of a, near-death experience, so then he realized, or he or she realized, oh, there is something in there, so I have to find out. That kind of a trigger point would allow that person to make a little effort and then find what is going on. And that for that purpose, this Eightfold Path is being really adapted, or the actually with a little bit of a effort, you have to follow it. Sometimes there are some precepts or some different kind of rules or kind of a discipline you have to have, those kind of a thing. But the person who has actually had that experience of non-self for even a fraction of a second, the stream winner, he knows for, or he or she knows for sure that really this whole universe is kind of what you are connecting with is actually in flux. So he always see that really it has nothing to really hang on to. So that is why that really his or he or she or that person's uh, the inclination is to just to the respond to thing rather than react to that. I'll elaborate that little later because I got a clip to play for that as well. So that kind of effort. So in the same time, that person need to have kind of a awareness in the sense that really have that elevated attention, what is happening around you, within you, and all that, and then you have to respond to things like. And then in the same time, the with that you will uh, develop uh, uh, more samadhi in the sense that meditative absorption into you. It little by little sink into you, and then it will go through the whole process, and finally you will be in that same uh, aspect of that non-self. So I was explaining that to Alex on the other day, just after the meditation session on Thursday. And I know you were asking a few questions about what will happen later on. And I just want to elaborate a little bit there because as I said, that really on the Eightfold Path and in this kind of a process. And then I mentioned that really there are uh, different stages of this awakening. The first one is, of course, that getting that non-self experience, which is for a fraction of a second, you will get it. But still, it impact of that is coming through you all the time. But that is not actually full, complete awakening. That is why when I talked about this, I always talk about this whole universe is like a separate thing. But you may not feel that way right now because of that your inner longing, that rooted longing is still disturbing you. That seven fetters which I mentioned earlier. That out of that 10 fetters, three has already gone, and the rest of the fetters are still lingering in you. That is why you cannot see that way, but you still have that the impact of that non-self experience, and that is why you are responding to the whole world, and you are still uh, blissful and peaceful all the time because you don't have to worry about that much. So uh, that person will gradually sink into this for the absorption or the meditative absorption at a larger scale. And then finally, you will ended up with that. You will be ended up with that non-self experience all the time, not just for a fraction of a second. And then at that time, you can see its whole universe is happening every time, and all that kind of a inclination will come to you. So for that, I wanted to give a little bit of a different perspective from that that Adi Shanti's explanation, Grace. So actually, you have given me a good lead that I can bring as some example and then talk about too. Before I
Good.
go there. Anybody has any question about this uh, third facet?
So, not so much a question, more of just a comment on what you and I were talking about last week. So, I had
Mm-hmm.
told you that it seems like what I've been doing recently, so for the maybe a little bit less than a month. It's been seeming like this for me, but
Mhm.
it seems like I've been grasping and trying to get that feeling again when I
Mhm.
wasn't doing that initially. And something that you said was it's as if a tree falls in a stream and it blocks the stream for a minute and you see the bottom, but then the
Mhm.
water eventually continues over and you can no longer see the bottom.
Correct.
And it seems to me like another thing that you had said was it's like I've been muddying up the water now. And it
Mhm.
seems like because I've been grasping, I've been
Mhm.
muddying up the water.
Mhm.
And the way that I have to get back to the more full awareness all the time is the first thing that I have to do is I have to stop grasping and let all the mud settle down. And
Mhm.
then from there, I can continue on getting into the deeper level of awareness. But until I actually stop grasping, it will stay muddy. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah, almost 80%
Okay.
is correct. And then actually, the muddy part I mentioned is you are not muddying anymore. I know that really the people, normal, I mean, conventionally people just try to get there and then they just, think about it and all that, and it actually making that stream more muddy water. But in your case, I don't think that you are doing that because you could see that really it's happening. So you are just responding to things. You are not really the very much grasping, but there is a subtle grasping in there that because of that seven fetters is still there. So if I uh, equate that same example, of course, the stream is still running over the that tree and everything, but it may not be muddy because it's a water. But you know that it's as a water because you would feel that really okay, things are coming up, and then I'm not really craving for it like I used to be and all that. That means you are in a better place than you are muddy in the water. You are just seeing the water running through, but still somewhat you can even see the bottom as well because it's clearing up little by little. So it's a clearing up. That's the process I'm saying that you're going through. Once that process has been really totally cleared up, it's like that water dried out. I mean, all the water sprout dried out, and then no water anymore. And then after that, you can see that bottom of that stream all the time, which is the final full enlightenment or the awakening or whatever we can refer to different ways. And then being in that non-self nature, that place you notice as there is no entity, that will happen to you. So it'll take time sometime.
I see.
Only thing is you have to allow that to happen. That is what the right effort on this sense, on this eightfold path. That right effort is just you are just allowing that to happen rather than now you are not trying to. And other thing is that you may start craving for something. In that case, again, you are really, I would say, yeah, we are mudding a little bit because if you crave to experience that non-self experience right away now, that means you are just attaching to that. So that attachment is not helping you. But what you need to do is just to relax. And then with the meditation, of course, you can bring that your awareness a lot. That is that the seventh step of the Eightfold Path, which is Samma Sati, in the sense awareness. Keep that awareness, keep that thing alive with you. And then, of course, practice your meditation as well whenever you want and whenever, I mean, you don't have to sit now anymore. You can just actually at work or anywhere, you can just go into that place and then make sure. And then with that, you could recognize that really some of the urges coming through you, and then why should I attach to that? You can just let go of that. Those kind of things. That is that Eightfold Path on the stream winner point of view. Are you with me now?
Yeah, I'm with you. And I think one thing that you said was that I might be getting attached
Mhm.
or craving for that feeling, which
Okay.
that seems like what it is that I was really going towards because I saw what it was, and then it was lasting for quite a long time, and
Mhm.
then it seemed like it went down a little bit, like it went 10% down, and and then I was trying to get back all of it, and by trying to force it, then it started going further and further down. And
Correct.
then after I talked to you last week, I had a very long meditation the next day, and then I had another very long one today. And by my own realization and by talking to you about this and feeling like I figured out that that was the issue that I was having, a lot of that feeling has since returned, and I just have to really be aware that I can't I can't make this happen. I have to just let it happen. And if I
Correct.
try to make it happen, much like trying to make anything happen, it doesn't work.
Yes,
You just have
that's
to
right.
allow allow it to come forth.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Very good. That's what it is. All right. Very good clarification. I think it's help to the others as well. Very nice. Any other questions or clarification anybody need? Yes,
Yeah, and I'll just
please.
say I know I'm kind of like the silent figure in the Zoom meeting, but I really enjoyed that conversation and I got a lot out of it. So thank you.
Okay. Yeah. And with this one, this is actually the Adyashanti. And thanks to Grace and of course, I think Stephanie. So I started, trying to listen to him and then see how we approach things and all that. And then I had because by that time I get to know about his approach and how he does and then all that. So this is a good place to start. And then it's very relevant to what we are talking about here. And so I like his explanation, and this is a very good addition for that our discussion. Now I'll play it. I don't think I have to explain. I think you can listen to normally, but I'll.
Um, it can't do so in a clear way unless a lot of the stuff that you transcended gets flushed out of the system. Right? So when you transcend it, you're just beyond it. But to function here, being beyond it isn't good enough, right?
What he meant here was that transcendence is that really, to me, what he's trying to refer is that really non-self experience. So it happens and then it's everything gone. But he's saying that really there is something inside still. So which is I refer to that when I really line up with Buddha's teaching, that is that seven fetters, which is left with you. But with the transcendence, you let go of that first three fetters, but the seven other fetters, the water is still now running. That's what he's referring to as I do. Your inner essence, you have something in your body, kind of a thing, right? And then,
Then there's a transformation that actually happens here in the world of, right down to the world of form. And that's, of course, means all of your, whatever psychological hang-ups you may still have had, that you transcended. When spirit comes back, sometimes, there they are waiting for you.
see that really that is what he said, that whatever the things is come back and then waiting for you now because it's already gone at the transcendence time, but now it's gone. Whatever you are, the longing, that very rooted longing is come back now, which is that seven fetters in reference to Buddha's discovering.
And those then have to be seen. They have to be also resolved in a more unified vision. But that's a part of it that rarely happens all at once. That's a part of the maturing that's often, for most people, unfolds over
See, he said that really it's not often it happens. Actually, it happens some people because they have had this experience before, somewhere in different lifetime. But if you really hit this one at this time, at the very end of this process, he could really straight away he could go in there and then stay there as it is all the time. That transcendence totally happens in the sense it will not that all this there are no any other uh, rooted longings to come through from him. But he's talking about now. Usually, most generally, people have to let go of that other rooted longing. That's what he's talking about.
over time. And for some, it's much easier than for others. You just never know.
See. So that's what she said that really it's for some people it's much easier, but not for others because but he's still giving it like things that you have to do. But to me, it's not that you have to do. You will really recognize it. It's kind of a there's a different thing that really it's called a that everybody talk about this vipassana in the sense that really you are looking at your emotions and then you are dealing with them. That is the people who have not been really gone through the transcendence, as he mentioned, or they actually not really seen that non-self experience. They have to do it, like even that 60 days vipassana meditation session. What they do is they just try to deal with each emotions and all that. They are trying to do it with the effort of with your mind, and then trying to use the mind to understand it and then recognize it and all that. But once actually, if you have that non-self experience, that vipassana, you don't have to do it. It's actually happening to you. You will recognize it's happening to you. You will see that really you are going down and then you are really getting better. And then all these longings, that really different section of those longing that, as I mentioned, that you can read that on the book as well, all these 7 fetters, which I had that there on the screen as well. So those things will go away. Those are the composition of our self. So it will just dry down, like a stream is drying down. But for you, like Alexa, and then person who has had that transcendent experience for a fraction of a second, or that non-self experience, you could see that really the water is now really slowing down or drying down, and then the quantity is gone down, kind of a thing. It's like some people explain that like your battery is dying down, like it's your smartphone phone battery is just dying down, kind of a thing you can feel. But it doesn't mean that really your energy, your physical energy is dying down. It's not that. Your craving for that kind of urges, that kind of likingness, or any kind of attachment, kind of a thing, it's just dying down. And then you guys explain. Even Gavin was explaining that really. Next, earlier when I open my fridge, always I'm going for ice cream, but not now. I just open, ice cream is there. If I want, I'll have a couple of spoon. That's all. That kind of a dying down. So that you can feel, you can see. So this is here now. You are not. Forcefully meditating vipassana. Here now, really, it's happening to you. You are just allowing that to happen, like what he was saying, allowing that to happen. Are you guys with me? Can you see that parallel, what I'm talking about?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So it is a kind of a thing. You should, it's just a common. I mean, this is good that really I have to thank Grace again, thank or the Grace or even Stephanie, that bringing up this guy. I mean, I didn't realize this fellow. Somebody is there saying the same thing in a same fashion, and it seems like he's really following Buddha's teaching. I thought that he was just going with the yogic tradition, but he knows that on that Buddha's this thing. Any questions or any comments, Grace?
Yeah, I kind of wonder where I'm at with this. Okay, so I was in a very dark place and I actually did ketamine assisted treatment therapy.
Hmm.
I don't know if any of you guys know anything about that, but like it's like a psychedelic treatment experience and you're like in basically like you put a mask on when you're under the medicine and you're seeing and feeling things that you wouldn't have otherwise seen or felt. And um yeah, I had this sense of timelessness and there was no impatience because there was no time. And I just had this feeling that everything was going to be okay. And I really, yeah, I don't feel that I had any real awareness of self. And I did feel, yeah, all of these things that are described, like a sense of connectedness. But I kind of feel like it was cheating, obviously, because it was like using
Yep. Drug.
yeah, medicines. And the treatment provider gave me a copy of Untethered Soul. So I had started to going to meditation because I'd had this experience and I was reading this book as I was having these sessions. Um, and just was like trying to figure out basically what had happened to me because yeah, I was extremely suicidal and it was such a change that I was it's just funny to me now how I don't, it almost is like drama to me now, thinking it wasn't drama then and it wasn't funny then, absolutely not. But
Hmm.
now it's just like it's insane to me that I ever felt that way, you know? And
Hmm.
so I've been trying to like figure out what it is that I'd experienced and like feel it on a deeper level. And I do, like, I've been thinking lately, like, I do feel like on any given day, I was wondering, like, on any given day, am I aware more than half the time? No. But but on any given day, I'm probably aware for a greater amount of time in that day than I had been for the previous 26 years of my life, like combined. So I do feel like there's been this huge change, but I think I have this, yeah, that Alex was describing it. It's like this clinging and the wanting to go back. And for me, it's like wanting to experience it. Um, with
That
you know basically
awareness.
with brute force by myself outside of the influence of ketamine because I just knew that it was true and I knew that it was real and I knew that that is who I really was, but
Hmm.
I feel like it's kind of fleeting when it's under the like because it was a drug rather than just myself. So
Hmm.
I kind of see some of myself in a little bit of this, but it's strange. I think because it was a psychedelic experience, it's like shallower and more fleeting than it would have otherwise been.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it's yeah, I could see that you are in the right track now, and then you're more closer to the this experience that Alex was talking about, uh, probably much closer than what you think. But only the difference is that really you have a concept that really that experience is like you supposed to be aware all the time in this day. That is why you explain that really you are aware of the things for sometimes, and but sometimes it's drift away and then again go back. That is not, that is actually our mind is just trying to figure out and trying to be in that awareness all the time. So that's again another effort, but it's not bad, but it's not really the what you're looking for. Probably the longer meditation will allow you to have that transcendence as him talking about, and as that Michael Singer is talking about, because that transcendence happens for a fraction of a second. That will give you the, so don't even I mean, try to be aware all the time in the sense like by force or the brute force to that level, like what you had that experience those days. No, it will happen to you, but only thing is you have to let go of everything in the sense that really, not that really you let go of your possession and everything. But I'm saying is that your clingingness, your connections, your craving kind of thing. So that's you have to just relax all the time. Just like we're just relaxing our body all the time, right? When we are relax our body, it's just there, and then you don't have to, and then you were meditating for 1.5 hours without knowing what is happening in the body as well. Sometimes it a little bit, but it goes away. That kind of a relaxation. So that relaxation has to continue beyond the body, and then beyond that your thought process as well. So that's what happens. So you are in the right place, you are in a good place, and then you will be going through, and then that your suicidal thought are the indication that really you you realize that really this whole thing is uneasy. Now think about that Eckhart Tolle. Eckhart Tolle was actually, he's doing his PhD, and then he was just trying to papers and all that. He had the suicidal thought. And then he was just thinking, what is happening here? And then he couldn't actually figure that out. What is this going on? And then finally he said that really one day I was just really frustrated with all that. But on the next day, he let go of that other person, and then he just now is really awakened. So this is kind of a thing that I refer to as earlier, that even this Adi Shanti was talking about. It is simple for some people because of that really in my inclination, I know that he had this experience, and this is the last tipping point that he was suicidal at that time. And then, of course, he just jumped into he just dissolved into that non-self's nature throughout now. He doesn't have to go back anymore. Similar thing, it may be that really that your point at the time when you were in Japan, it could have been this coming up to that level, but actually your mind and then your thinking, and then of course you came back. I mean, it's otherwise you would have taken that action. No, you didn't take that action. That's a good thing, that because of still you have that inclination in there to bring it back to you, and then get that process go through, and then get to this marvelous experience pretty soon. That is how I see it. So
Yeah.
that's how I feel.
Yeah, I feel like in the video he described. Yeah, because I just don't see the feelings and the thoughts as myself anymore. I do sometimes get lost in them, but
Mhm.
I'm not under the delusion that they're me. But he described it really well, as there's just still all this feeling in my body about everything. And even though I know that it's not me, it's
Mhm.
still there and it's still uncomfortable. And like lately, that's been the process of just like relaxing behind those feelings is hard
Correct.
because
Yeah.
life still happens and you still have feelings about it, you know?
Yeah, so that's where that really it comes to, that really don't reject it.
Mm,
Don't, I know it's uncomfortable, and you wanted to reject it, but it's actually accepted. That is how. See, even Adyashanti said that. Not just NT, not just Alex, but everybody was relaxing it. So
yeah.
you could relax too.
And what Alex said earlier about yeah, how forcing it in meditation is the exact opposite of what you're supposed to do. And that it's the same thing in life, is that when you're trying to force things to happen, they don't happen. It doesn't work. And
Mhm.
making that, I feel like I really needed to hear someone making that connection. It's like, oh, of course, of course. And it's the like trying to force things to happen that I think causes things to build, like feelings to build up in the body. It's the, yeah, let it go,
Yeah,
let it happen.
yeah, just relax. That's the key word, relax. Yeah, Alex, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's very much something that we're generally able to relax the body all the time. That's usually the easiest part. And I've found that relaxing the mind during meditation, it's generally fairly easy. Sometimes it can be kind of difficult, but for the most part, when you're sitting there, the objective is to sit there and relax everything. I find that that's generally very easy to relax the mind. But when you're out doing things during the day, that's usually when relaxing the mind is, you find that it's the most powerful kind of thing. Whether it's you're walking around and you have some kind of thought and you don't need to constantly run through the thought loop. You can just let it relax, let it come back down and go a little bit more, not to a center, but you don't have to try and make yourself relax. Just like with your body, you can't make your body relax. You just have to allow it to relax. It's the same thing with the mind, and then you find that, oh, now it's much easier, everything's much nicer, and then you find, oh, well, now I'm not trying to force my mind to relax, and I'm not trying to force being present all day and that kind of thing. You just just got to allow your mind to relax all the way.
Good point. Very good point. Because I guess I do think of it as forcing my body to relax, but actually that doesn't work. Yeah. It's just
Yeah,
letting it relax in its own time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the shortcut for that, what Alex was talking about, to relax the mind. So that's where the tricky part coming on. Actually, when you are not meditating, of course, you are trying to relax your mind, but it's meditating. It's easy because that is easy in the sense that really, that is where that really this my approach is totally unique from the others, because that is where that I always talk about, just pay attention to the silence, still nature. That's all. I'm not asking you to get rid of your thoughts, take your mind or from there to here. No, just pay attention to that, you know, still nature, that spaciousness. That's all you need to do. Don't try to even, okay, now I'm thinking, no, I have to bring it back. No, it doesn't matter. If you went away a little bit, okay, that's all right. Oh, I'm just going away. I mean, they get to know about that is better, because you realize, oh, your mind went away. So just let that happen, and then bring back your attention, not your mind actually. Attention went with some thoughts, and then just let that to. If you, as soon as you recognize, drop it, and then bring that your attention to that silence, still nature. So when you really have that 110% attention to that silence, still nature, even see right now, you're relaxed. Your mind is relaxed. Then you're opening that portal to go much deeper into that relaxation. That's all should be in your vicinity or in your uh, awareness. Nothing else will be creep in. Any thoughts may not creep in if you keep that silence nature, which is right now just bursting through in this environment. Just pay attention to that silence nature. Even your eyes open, it's okay. You can do that when you are just walking in the park. Just sit and then embrace that silence nature. That is how you relax your mind. Not by thinking that I want to relax my mind. No. Just see how cool it is. At the same time, you can take your attention further into your, inner essence, or around you, or behind you. And that will give you that stillness. That is the spaciousness that we have everywhere, even in our body. Every cell of our body has that spaciousness, that stillness. So you are recognizing that, that's all. You're not thinking about it. See? Did you? Did you recognize that, Chris?
Yeah, I feel very relaxed right now. I'm just sitting here smiling a lot in this room. A mini meditation. Thank you.
Uh, this is at all. It's that easy. I know you also mentioned it's easy, but it's hard to do in the sense, because hard to do because you're thinking about it to do. You don't need to do, not do anything. See, how peaceful it is, how relaxed. That's the whole. The whole universe is like that, because it's always buzzing, buzzing, buzzing everywhere. We are actually buzzing with our thoughts, but every other things are just jittery everywhere. If you go further down, further, when you let go of all that thing, that really that Adishanti was talking about, that your inner agitations and those urges and everything just settle down, you will be really peaceful. In the same time, you will be really responding to things. But people, I know that some of the people who look at me, and then when the things what I do, people just think, oh, who is this guy? But it doesn't matter to me, because I know that they cannot really gauge it, because to gauge somebody's inner essence, you have to be in that place. Otherwise, you cannot. Kind of, only the best lawyer knows about the other lawyers' ability, because when they are talking about, they know that kind of thing. Right, Alex?
Yes, yes.
Hopefully, Grace, you are with us, right?
Oh yeah. Thank you so
Very good.
much.
Yeah. How about Sean? Are you getting the feel of this?
I hope so. Because I'm very interested in these like core tenets of Buddhism. And every time we have these meetings, I've got like Wikipedia or something else pulled up so I can follow along with some of the ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And it is certainly very interesting, and I want to continue learning and being able to hopefully understand more of it.
Yeah. Yeah. The only one point I can uh, share with you is that really the understanding is good, very good. You will be intellectually rich with all this information. But in fact, actually, your intelligence will not improve by just understanding, reading, and all that. You have to practice.
That's right. We have to
So
experience it.
experience it. That's right. That's the whole theme of my book. When it comes out, you can see, because all this reading and everything, and then they are good. I respect them because of the people who wanted to understand things. That's how we were brought up from the beginning, right? From our childhood. You have to learn something and then do whatever it says. Whoever the conceptually approved something, and then you absorb it. You think that is that. And I have referred to some of these very latest, scientific or the in fact actually physics discoveries, which I can see some alignment with our experience. So I have explained that as well in the book. So it is kind of a thing that conceptually we are trying to figure this out. About 2,600 years ago, actually, Buddha has just figured that out without even touching a telescope. Because it can be done. That is how you feel it when you go through this whole process. You see that really the whole universe is really a projection. So I want to just continue with the part I stopped with Alex at the car park. So this is because now think about this. All this conceptual thing what you are studying is residing in you, right? In your essence. Now, whatever you learn is that it's only you. But before you learn it, it was out there on the internet or wherever, right? You have no connection to that. You don't know anything about it. And even a war going out somewhere, you don't know anything unless if it is on the TV, right? So that means you are perceiving it. Unless it's come to your perception, it is no longer existing for you. It may be existing out there. That's okay. But it's not impacting you at all, right?
Yeah.
Now think about in Africa, somewhere very far away, some people must be dying with starving. When you just reflect on that word that I mentioned, you have a little sorrow in your inner essence. That happens because of just words. You haven't seen them, you haven't actually, but that words you conceptualize. and realize, oh, they are really poor. We should help them. Sometimes people will think, oh, we should help them. That's okay. I'm not saying you don't do that, but in fact, actually, I'm giving the different perspective. It's on the underlying perspective is as on whatever you perceive is the one you are. So that is what Buddha has given a different kind of a formula. It's called paticca samuppada or dependent origination, in the sense that really as soon as you just cling to something, it becomes you. It becomes your universe. It becomes your whole cosmos.
Reality is what we perceive it to be.
Perceive, exactly. That's reality is the conventional reality. As long as we all agree with it, it is reality. If somebody dispute it, it's not his reality. That person who's disputing it, right? So it's again all conceptual thing. This is like the example given was like, this is kind of a mirage, or this is like a rainbow. When we perceive that rainbow is there, it's there, but it's not, there's no rainbow. It's not a solid thing. You just see that something going on, you think, this is rainbow. But it is not really, right? The same way, this is what, on your perception, actually, it's a perceiving process that really you cling to. And then you make yourself. That's why you want to learn.
It's very interesting.
See? So it's a matter of just, recognizing it. To recognize it fully, you need to experience that non-self.
Yeah.
Then you recognize it fully. But still you can understand it, which I explain. And you felt a little bit as well. You can just relate to that. Oh, yes. I get upset if somebody says something. Otherwise, I don't get upset.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. My emotion will not go there. My adrenaline will not work. It will not start working or anything. No, it's all happened just for the sound bites. They are sound bites. If it's a music, you might be happy. If it is really rough noise, then you may be not happy. All that is what you perceive. So that when you relax, actually your perceiving is being, just faded away, kind of. Now, even when you sit down and then relax your body, that's what I said. Normally we are grabbing into our body. We are just tightly holding into our body. If you relax, you are just letting go. That is, it's going far away from your perception.
And that may be part of the difficulty that I can face sometimes, that I'm trying to turn that perception inward instead of simply
letting go,
being there.
Exactly. That perception inward, that's a good word you used as well. All the time our perception is coming from externally. Now you are just trying to bring that perception internally. No, it's not. You don't need to bring the perception. You need to let go of the perception. And then you will experience things. The perceptions are a combination of concept and how you interpret it. Right?
Yeah.
There are very technique, combination and formula given by Buddha about these things. It's in the book as well. I call it actually aggregation process. So what we are doing is we are accumulating things. So it's called aggregation, collecting things. There's a process in that case that really, like, when you see a flower, it's a concept, right? It's a flower. You might add something to say that really it's a rose flower, or it's actually a rose flower. It's already dying or something like that. You can bring all the concept, right? So that rose flower is kind of an image there. Unless if you interpret it, it's a flower, it's a really good one, and then it is red color and all that thing. That now you are creating that your perceptions. So you're perceiving it, that the perceiving process. So you could detach that perceiving part and the recognizing part separately. That concept is there, flower is there, but you are not really grabbing into it. So in that case, you are not processing it. Like, when Alex mentioned to the Grace on the last time, when Grace was talking about there are sounds on the music playing on the other room by his brother. So, but you can see that it's distance. And then Alex mentioned that really, oh, it's like, that is coming and you're processing it separately, not really grabbing it. Now, if I give the two version of this, Grace would have been already upset about it. Why you are playing the music at this time? I'm meditating and all that thing. She didn't do that. She just watch it and then, oh, it's a distance. So that's the other perspective of it. In the sense that really it's happening distantly, but you are not grabbing into it. So that's the same thing that Alex mentioned, that really saying it is a process, the thought process going and then there. So that's the experience is the really matter rather than learning and then getting that intellectual understanding of it. It's again another perception. Are you with me?
I think so. Yeah.
Very good. Do you want to add anything, Alex or Grace? Even Grace, you can add something because you have that. That's why I'm saying you are fairly closer to this experience. But go ahead.
No, that's fascinating. I've never heard it described that way. And it's like that feeling again of intuitively like, oh yes, that's true, that's right. And I think sometimes I get caught up, especially not when I'm meditating, but throughout my day when I'm trying to stay aware or whatever. I start to try to intervene in the process. I love that you said that we're attached to a process of perception. I feel like that's really what
Yeah,
ourselves are. It's just processes of perception. And I start thinking that I'm detaching, but actually I'm just getting involved in the process of perception and trying to make it more positive. More that I want the process of percepting to be acceptance and positivity rather than letting go and seeing the like acceptance and
as it
positivity
is. Yeah,
underneath it already. Yeah. So
yeah.
that was a really interesting way to think about it.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah, it's very good. Yeah, good that you recognize. I know that really you are. I'm very glad that you are happy and very glad we are having this discussion too. It clears up some part of on the path as well. And in addition to that, when you said that really, okay, I have the perception of whether it is good or bad kind of a thing. So there's a different other analysis for that. It says that really sometime our feeling is the processing part. So feeling, it could be good or bad feeling, but it could be even neutral feeling. But
Mm.
that also a feeling. So I'm going a little deeper now. But as you said that really, you don't have to even attach that as a good thing or bad thing or even neutral thing. It's there. Just incident there. It's happening there. That's okay. You don't need to connect with it. That's the difference.
Yeah, and I realized that as I pay attention and just watch feelings, none of them were actually as unpleasant as I thought they were. That most
Exactly.
of them actually are just pretty close to neutral, if not completely neutral. Yeah.
Correct, correct, very good. That's a good start. I mean, that's the good progress, I would say, rather than start. Yeah.
I
Go
can
ahead, man.
definitely agree with the neutral feelings. When I started keeping a mood tracker several years ago, and the vast majority of the days that we have aren't good or bad. They're just days, right? And
That's also, but
that is not a bad thing to have. That is just life. We just need to recognize that.
yeah, yeah, as a neutral feeling as well. Yeah, at this level, of course. But later on, you will realize that is also a feeling anyway. Alex, you want to add anything?
Yeah, so going with the perceiving of just things happening and how that kind of comes into your head. I don't remember the whole story, but I remember reading in a book not too long ago that there are two monks and they both climb a mountain and they see a sunset distance. There's an older monk, there's a younger monk. Wow, look at this amazing sunset. It's beautiful, so on and so forth. And the older monk just walks away. The younger monk goes, "What are you doing? You're missing the sunset." He's like, "Well, it's already there. I don't need to grasp and hold on to it and so on and so forth. I know I'm probably butchering that, but that's
No,
the
no, that's
thing
good.
is you're seeing that there is this sunset. You don't need to then conceptualize and grasp it. How can I describe this and so on and so forth? You can just
Mm.
see it, accept it, and it
Yeah,
is what it is.
yeah. It happens. Actually, it's not really accepting it even. You're just seeing that as an incident, that's all.
Yes.
So you don't even to do anything as at all. Very good. I think we are running out of time. Very nice. Thank you for that addition too. And I would recommend Grace, if you wanted to listen to the any person. I think this Adya Shanti is good. I did see one of the video. He was talking about this kind of a seen as it is seen, and here that as it is here, kind of a, this is actually a repetition of that Buddha's teaching in a different way. And it might help you, I think, if you are really thinking of listening to someone much closer to what we are discussing.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll look at some videos of his. If you
Yeah,
have a particular one you're thinking of, I'd love to watch that one.
I'll send you a link.
Oh,
I
perfect.
have to look for it again, because I just browsed through, and then I found a couple of things, and one of things was that specific one that I was talking about. I search for it and then send it to you.
Okay,
Very
thank
good.
you.
All right. Good to talk to you guys. All right.
Thank you
Thank you,
so much,
Antin.
All right,
Ente.
guys, have a
Oh,
good
you're
night.
Thanks,
welcome.
guys.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Bye. Have a good one.
Talk to you later.